week 9 of summer anime, starting with God of High School, episode 9, where this is kind of an interesting episode because it breaks up into 3 parts. Jin Mori is like going to rescue his grandfather. We saw he was like taken hostage. Yumira is trying to fight the next team, and she has to win or else they're disqualified, since Hyundai is suspended. Also, she's on a time limit because if she beats this guy too fast, then Jin Mori won't show up since he's rescuing his grandfather. So now, like, they're gonna be disqualified. So it's pretty tight. And Hyundai is also looking for Jin. He's like, "Where the fuck are you? We gotta do this." And then, so all 3 are doing their own thing. So Yu is fighting this shirtless bodybuilding, like, tan, 7-foot tall pillar man looking guy. He has like a stolen sword of like the Moon Clan, like Mira's like moon like fighting style. So he actually has like the same wooden sword as her. But then he has like an unlocked power, which is like it turns into like this metal yin yang looking sword. Also, if he loses the sword, it comes back to him. So like it has like a bunch of gimmicks. And he starts like beating up on you, like dominating her and shit. On the other side, we see Jin Mori like with his grandfather, and then he's in some random like rundown warehouse in a field. And then when he tries to rescue him, like a body double, like it explodes, like it's a fake body. And then we realize like Jin is in the middle of this explosion, like he somehow survives, but like damn, he's injured. And then like we realize it's an inside job, that the company is actually trying to eliminate these guys, like the random dudes from the tower from the God of High School tournament, because they just want the Choi Reki dudes, like the guys with the stands, like everyone else is like inconsequential. So yeah, like Jin starts fighting like the dude with a suit, and his gimmick is like he can make shadow clones or body doubles. Yeah. And then Hyundai is doing his own thing. There's like this girl wearing this yellow jumpsuit. And then they start fighting. She's kind of like in love with him and shit. So yeah, it's like a cool gimmick there. And yeah, like at the end, we see Yumira when she's fighting the Pillar Man guy. He's actually like another body double. The original Pillar Man guy like got killed. Anyway, it's not relevant. But then she unlocks her Moon Clan power. She unlocks her stand, which is really nice because she was like out of the 3 people in her team, she was kind of the weakest, so she gets a well-deserved power up. And then yeah, like she gets her stand. I forgot the name. I think it's like who cares what the name is. Anyway, Jin Mori actually comes. It's kind of confusing because he makes it in time after she beats the Pillarman guy, and then I was wondering how'd he show up there in time. I don't know if he also used a body double or something, but he had some cool like technique. It was some wild shit. And yeah, that's it for God of High School. Now we'll go to Deca-Dence, episode 9. There's not much to say for this one. A lot of stuff happened, but it was mostly just the war stuff, like the revolution. There was a funny thing that happened in the beginning where the boss was like to Kurenai, "Yo, I got no time for thoughts. Get out of here." So it was like, yeah, she's thirsty. That turkey dude and his brother, they like betray the clan. They try to like go first like self-preservation, and then they like snitch out all the other people. But then it's funny because Turkey like explodes himself, basically like kind of blows up the whole factory, which is pretty cool. And then yeah, Natsume is like her and the boss, they kind of fight this teleporting dude. They beat him with water pressure. And then there was a big revelation at the end. It wasn't like that big, but it was like there was like some good music to set up. It's basically saying that everybody in this world is manufactured. No one is like a real person. So I guess we'll find out more next episode. Alright, and now for Fire Force. episode 10, we get the unkillable demon that Ogun was like beating up on. But now, like, you know, we need Shinra to come through, like get your grace of the evangelist, and then yeah, beat this guy. And he's like, yeah, 1 second is enough. That was pretty cool. He's like, yeah, 1 second is enough. And so once he gets the grace, he goes light speed, fast as fuck, beating up on this dude, like just transporting his body up and down, left and right, and then zooming around the sky until he hits like him with like a finishing kick. And this is all in like 1 second. Shinra's like this blue mass of like energy, and then when he hits the finishing blow, you actually see the guy, the demon, the fire demon. Like you can see him in his human form, and then you get like a flashback, kind of like a demon slayer. Oh, I kill you, I get a flashback the moment you die type of moment. We realized that this guy is kind of he was in the world like 200 years ago during the first cataclysm. He was like a survivor. He was kind of like a rich dude, but his wife and daughter died and shit. So he's like kind of depressed and walking around this desert, and then he kind of collapses at this barrier, and then he sees the evangelist come through, and she like gives him this power, turns him into a demon. So that's basically his life. So then yeah, they save the forest. They find out the Amaterasu, the big ass power plant shit, is kind of a lie, and then we get like the original story of the Amaterasu, where it's like the propaganda version. It's basically the Raffles the first went on a journey to find the pure flame, and then he found the pure flame, and then they combined it with technology to make the Amaterasu. But then the real story is like the Amaterasu, the pure flame is actually a person. It's actually using people as fuel sources to, yeah, power up the city. And then yeah, that crazy blonde-haired girl that we found out is the Tokyo Amaterasu power source. So yeah, that's why she's crazy. She's kind of like sad that she's trapped and shit. All right, now for RE0, episode 9, we get like it was pretty brutal, the episode before, where Subaru had to like get fucked by a bunch of rabbits and eaten. But yeah, here he's chilling. He's chilling with the best girl. She Echidna is like having a tea party with him, telling him, hey, chill, just like talk about your situation and shit. And he's like talking, and then yeah, the rabbit, he wants to save people. Echidna tells him, nah, you kind of have a thing with destiny where, yeah, you can keep going back to undo your mistakes, but then if you go too far in the future, then you can't undo shit in the past, like REM sleeping, etc. And so then he asks how to basically defeat the rabbits, and then Echidna was like, why don't you talk to the other witches? Daphne created the rabbits, and we get some good lore here where Daphne actually created three like magic beasts. The first one was the whale we saw in season 1. So then the next one is the rabbit, and there's also the black serpent. It's like a black mamba, like rest in peace Kobe. But yeah, black mamba right there. I guess we'll hear more of that later. But then yeah, Echidna was like, yo, I want you to talk to Daphne, but be careful because she's a witch, and then like she can fucking play with your mind and shit. Like you won't die, but she might give you like brain damage and shit. So then she body swaps into the other witch, Daphne. But then there's like kind of a joke thing where instead of Daphne, it's Typhon. It's like this little lolly witch, and she had like blue hair, and then she pulled out her hand. She's like, hey Subaru, like can you shake my hand? And this is funny because Echidna just told him, don't touch, don't like undo their shackles or anything, like don't interact with the witches, don't even make eye contact with them, just talk to them. And he breaks the first rule like 10 seconds later, and then he turns into like this like he just crumples up into like 50 pieces, and he's like, he doesn't feel pain, but it was just like damn bro, you really have to touch her. And then after that, Minerva comes in. She's a second witch. She's like she's a witch of wrath, but she's like this blonde-haired kind of energetic witch. And then she fixes him, so she's like a nice person. After that, Daphne comes through. Her design is pretty weird. It's like a BDSM lolly in like this Iron Maiden looking thing. Yeah, I didn't like the design at all, but whatever. Her logic is that yeah, she created the rabbits, and then it's like infinity, like multiplying rabbits. And then she's like, oh, it's like a free food source. Like, what's the problem? And the Subaru's like, bro, this like though your food source is eating the people, like it's doing the opposite of what it should be doing. And then she's like, yeah, but if you want to eat something, there's a chance you're gonna be eaten as well. So that was some crazy logic, but then she kind of gives in and tells him about the way to defeat it, which is kind of obvious. It's basically the rabbits they have one brain, basically one mind, even though there's like a million of them or something. They all like have one sentient mind, so they're not like that smart. And then they use mana to track people or prey. So if there's a lot of mana, then they're naturally attracted to that. So she says that, oh, you can trick them by having one person be the bait, have a lot of mana, and just like lure all of them in one place and just like, you know, blow them up or some shit in one place. So yeah, we get that. Subaru kind of exits the tea party. And we get like some other good lore where it's like, this is the second time in the tea party. He's like, oh, can I ever come back? And she's like, yeah, but you gotta be like more desperate. You have to want it like even more than the second time. It's like you have to suffer a lot to come back to the third, like the tea party a third time. So I guess we'll see that in the future. And then yeah, we see the Witch of Envy, I think, or I mean like the main witch at the end. She's heading to the mansion, so I don't know what that's about, but like, shit's about to go down. Okay, so Rent a Girlfriend this week. The simp god, Kazuma, he was like simping over his phone case, like the phone case we saw last week. He was stalking Mizuhara, and then that she gave him the aquarium phone case as like a Christmas present, which was nice, but damn, that last episode was cringe. This one was not that bad. The plot tries to forward itself a bit with the other girl. Like I'm having a hard time remembering these girls' names. What was her name? It was Ruka. So she wants to be more aggressive, approaching Kazuya. She wants to kind of introduce herself to the parents because she thinks Chizuru or Mizuhara, she's a fake girlfriend. So let me just introduce myself. Let me introduce myself to your parents because I'm the one for the future. And then Kazuya was like, no, my grandmother is like in love with Chizuru, like more than. So it's kind of too hard to convince her to take Ruka. It'd also be like an awkward conversation to have. Oh, yeah, we're like we're having a threesome, or we're two timing, whatever. So yeah, Ruka wants to get more aggressive. They go to a restaurant together. Oh yeah, and even before that, we had Ruka and Kazuya go to a love hotel, which is pretty funny because, oh yeah, you expect, this is typical anime swerve where, oh, you expect something, but no, she's just there to talk. And then yeah, in the end of the episode, we kind of have like a confrontation. Basically, she says, oh, Ruka is basically saying, I'm in it for the long haul, and basically like if Chizuru is also get kind of jealous, like, oh, maybe I love him, maybe I don't. But yeah, Ruka's putting like a nail in this coffin of best girl. We don't know which girl's gonna be best girl now. Also, Ruka joins Kazuya at his karaoke job at the end, which is kind of cool. So yeah, more stuff happens. It's still kind of uneventful. This episode, it kind of tells us what we already know about Ruka and her standing with Kazuya. Chizuru's relationship with Kazuya does not like progress either. So I guess we'll see next episode if stuff gets more spicy. So for Uzaki wants to hang out, this episode was also very. It was nice, I guess. It was pretty interesting, honestly. We got a new character, Uzaki's mom, and then it was kind of weird how we got introduced to her, where the main character is basically like, oh yeah, I have to return the money for the futon that you threw up in, because yeah, Sakurai was like, yo, it's too much money. So he goes to Uzaki's house to return the money, and then Uzaki's mom's like, bro, this dude is huge. He's scary. He might be into me. And then it just kind of misunderstandings. Like he's looking at a cat that's on her lap, but she thinks he's looking at her tits. She also exudes like some MILF energy, which is, it's par for the course for the show. And yeah, hijinks happen where she visits Sakurai at their cafe, or she visits Uzaki and Sakurai. And then she gets some misunderstandings, like she hears them in a supply closet in the back, like saying, "Oh, I like it old," or you need to do it ripe or something, talking about coffee beans. But she gets wrong signals, and she thinks like Sakurai's trying to get at her. So I guess we'll see more later where that progresses. But it was very crazy, to be honest. Like I don't know what's happening.